Hey, it's James from survivalpunk.com. Good morning. Today we're going to talk about why shelter is a bigger priority than fire in an emergency situation. A lot of these things, people tend to would rather do the flashy, sexier thing as opposed to the practical thing. But why fire is more important, is less important than a shelter. Before we get into all that, though, let's take a listen to our morning theme music.
Sequence back in town again. Time to fight and live, my friends. DIY survival's trend. Punk rock never ends. Scratching voice and broken strings. Rebel songs and what it brings. Back to basic, simple things. Freedom takes its wings. Sequence back, alright. Let's rock and roll tonight. Through the dark and light.
And we are back. I am super dragon booty today. Okay. If you would ask a bunch of random people, if you get lost in the woods, you're in a survival situation, what's the first thing you do? I feel like a lot of them would be like, oh, I better build a fire. You watch a lot of these survival shows, Naked and Afraid, whatever. There's a lot of times where they go out there and try to build the fire. Usually it's one person starts the shelter, the other person starts building the fire. When, yes, the fire is very important and very useful. But the shelter is way more important. It would probably make a lot of sense. It'd probably make a lot of sense. A lot of situations, not a lot of sense. For both people in those cases to start trying to build the shelter. Day 2, you got the shelter built. Make your fire. Make your fire and make it so that you can maintain it your entire time. But just like if you ask 100 fucking preppers, which one would you rather do? Make your bug out documents, your bug out binder, or go buy a new gun? 100% of the time, they're going to say, well, I'd like to go buy a new gun. If you ask a bunch of survivalists, which one would you rather do? Build a shelter or start a fire? Most of them are going to say, start a fire. My voice is also not cooperating today. However, I love building shelters. I remember when I was a kid, let's see, somewhere around 8, probably 8 or 9. Somewhere in that time frame. I remember where I was living at the time, and I remember I didn't live there past 10. So, anyway, went in the backyard and I started breaking off sticks and twigs, and I built a fucking like shack, like a hut. I built a hut. Um, it was by no means like an actual sturdy, useful, good thing, but it looked like a jungle hut, right? Basically, I took a bunch of I took branches from like a bush, broke them off, and shoved them into the ground, like one on all the corners, and then like a door frame, right? And then I just kind of made walls, like weave them in and out, and maybe me and my daughter will go do this in the woods. It might be a fun little project. I definitely need to get out there with her and build a shelter when I have some energy. I'm hoping if you listened to yesterday's episode, you know about my lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Um, I contacted the doctor and I was like, look, I need some pain medicine. And you always kind of feel sketchy for asking for pain medicine because there's so many junkies out there. But I have been in pain for like 2 months straight. I am done with this shit. So anyway, she called in some prednisone, which Apparently, for these autoimmune diseases, a good strong course of prednisone actually kills the inflammation, and I should be feeling good. And I would love to get out there and play with my daughter. Um, I've been too tired to do it a lot recently, and pain. Anyway, she would love to go build a shelter. And I could have swore I only spent like an hour building that thing, or maybe two or something, right? So if you need an excuse to work on your shelter building skills, and you have smallish children, there you go. Um, it's definitely a good way to get them off of their devices and get them outside, unless they're too far gone. Like, um, I know in my case, my daughter would put down any device immediately if I said, "Let's go outside and build a hut." So, why? Why is it more important? Sorry, my brain is scattered. Um, to protect you from the elements, right? Like a fire by itself is kind of terrible at protecting you from the elements, unless you build, reflection, and unless you build a shelter to take advantage of the heat. It's gonna not be fantastic. Um, you build a shelter, you protect yourself from any precipitation, rain, snow, whatever. Wind is brutal. The temperature might not even be that bad, but if you have a cold wind coming and stealing all your heat, you're going to be miserable. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to skip another day of episodes. Also, so you're going to stop stuff from falling out of the sky on you. Um, being out in the rain is super not good at maintaining a core temperature. The wind is going to steal your heat. The shelter is going to provide you protection from animals. If that animal is a elephant or a rhino, it's not going to care for the most part. But a lot of animals you can dissuade. If you are in a place that has elephants or rhinos, then obviously you're going to build a shelter whose purpose is to annoy them enough to not want to come after you. But if they really want you, there's basically nothing you're going to do. However, how many of us are going to be in a survival situation in Africa? Probably none of us, right? Um, Me and my wife both did sign up for Naked and Afraid. You know what? Now that I have health issues, maybe I'll write them just so that's extra drama for the show. I bet I can get on that way. Anyway, your shelter, properly built, can help regulate your temperature. Um, Depending on whether you need it or not, you can have your fire inside your shelter, i.e., it's a cold fucking climate. You need it versus hot jungle desert. You may not need the heat to be in the shelter, but you need it for safety issues. So, all of those are going to be better for you than just building a fire and laying next to it with no shelter. So, also, depending on your conditions making the shelter more important is a lot of the conditions that would necessitate a shelter more also make building a fire harder. You're in the rainforest. It's rainy. You're in Florida or Seattle. It's rainy. You're not going to be able to shelter. A lot of these places where you need protection from the elements, those same elements make starting a fire harder and take up more time and more calories. Where just building a shelter, you can get out of the conditions and you can have time to kind of breathe and space to work and time. You can go find some dry tinder and bring it in out of the elements. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to accomplish tasks in the rain or the snow or the wind. It makes everything so much harder to do. Um, Even with modern things like trying to use a cigarette lighter to light a fire in even a gentle fucking breeze is miserable. You build a shelter, block yourself from the wind, problem solved. Wet can kill you faster than cold. Water conducts heat away from the body. Rain, snow, sweat, all dangerous. Staying dry is priority one. So, if you don't have a shelter and you're getting rained on, you are just exasperating the problem. Um, the cold and the wind and the rain are going to steal your heat away. Ooh, there's a yard sale. Oh, it's almost a really great time for yard selling. Like spring, summer, great time for yard sales. I feel like poop, but I'm gonna wrap this episode up. Long story short, building a fire sounds fancy and sounds good, but in most circumstances, you'd be much better off building your shelter first. So get out there and start practice your shelter building. Bring your family. Have a good day. With that, this is James from StrongPunk.com. DIY Survive, you guys.